everybody, and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division in the Eastern 9-hole Cup. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. You can become a master in this game and also get yourself a massive advantage in this tournament by becoming a Patreon. Link to patreon.com/golfclashtommy is in the description down below. Tough tournament coming up, a full 9 of the Southern Pine, which is one of the tougher courses in the whole game. And make sure that you look at the info boxes on the right hand side. You see the elevation for the drive and the second shot, then also what club and ball I feel going to be the best ones to play with in this tournament. And if you do have questions, go to website golfclashtommy.com and fill in the contact form, or you make a comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we are going to play with the driver that gives us the most distance and topspin. And the thing that I'm looking for here now, instead of having to play on the left side of this fairway, just lay up and have a boring sniper towards the pin, I'm pushing my drive hard here. I'm playing aggressive, and the reason I play aggressive, it's because I do want to find myself into long iron range for the second shot. I'm adjusting with max topspin and also left spin, and then I adjust in between the bunkers there at the center. You can move your target more left if you want to. You don't have to play as close to the bunker that I did there with my target. Max overpower, maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. And I need to mention, if you do play with XMI level 7 below, you do play with Thor's hammer level 4 below, those are not the shots for you. Then you unfortunately have to lay up on the left, or you have to play with a power 4 ball. For the second shot, we are having a long iron. It's either going to be the Goliath, or it's going to be the B52 or the Grizzly. Those three, I play with Goliath here in this example, using 3 bars of backspin, aiming directly at the hole. The thing that is with this green is that it has a massive slope on the left, and obviously even if we go too much left, we will still have no issues having a wedge towards the pin there. Adjusting here is what I do for a medium distance of my club, and the problem here is that I am massively under adjusted. We do need to play this one around 80% club to be accurate, because even if I hit a great left, I still miss this hole on the right side of the pin, just barely, but that just tells me that shot was massively under adjusted. I'm not using any elevation for the second shot, and you know, a decent chance for an eagle. For hole number 2, we are going to find minimum distance line, which I think is a very valuable thing to have. Half of the red ring inside the rough in complete minimum distance. Choose the sniper as the wood club so you easily find the minimum distance here. Now we're going to play 2 bars of backspin and 6 bars of side spin to the right. And we're going to adjust for minimum distance with a 10% over adjustment. So minimum plus 10. We'll adjust for 7.3 rings, and then it's time to just take a normal shot. No curl, overpower, underpower. Unfortunately, I do hit great left. Just barely a great left, but you're going to notice that we are going to miss this one on the left hand side. But with a perfect ball, we will be getting a little bit more distance and also go a little bit more to the right. And I do believe that would have been super duper close with a perfect to get the hole in one here on hole number 2. Hole number 3 here, ladies and gentlemen, and here I would like us to play with Apocalypse level 5+, if we do have that one, or Thor's hammer level 5+, or an extra mile level 8+. Choose those drivers instead of a big topper as a first choice. If you after that don't have those type of clubs, then you choose the big topper in no matter what level that the big topper is having. The reason that I do not go to the big topper directly is due to the angled tailwind here. So now it is a great value to have a lot of distance instead of topspin here. 6 bars of topspin, max overpower. We can hit great left, great right. It's such an open fairway. We just need to make sure to gain as much distance possible, and this drive is totally enough maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. Don't forget to push up your target into max before you take your shot. Second shot here, I'm going a little bit for the sand bump maybe, but in the end, why take that risk? Sure, if we get a little bit higher up, we might could, or let's say like this, if it would be a normal tournament, let's say a longer tournament, we have more tries or more time, then we could maybe debate on if it would be worth looking at the dial that shot in. But now, as it is, a mini tournament, we have a few times to play. Now it's just important that we lock in the eagle, because if we get an albatross here, a super duper bonus. So it's going to be an eagle where a lot of players will struggle in making an eagle. So second shot, big dog or the cataclysm, doesn't really matter. You need to use 4 bars of the backspin, like 3 to 4 bars of backspin, bounce on the fairway, use half a ball of curl right, and just land it on green, fairway, fringe. Don't care, just somewhere around that, so you lock in safe eagle on a tough par 5 like hole number 3. This might seem very strange, but it's not often that I do suggest to play with a Win 5 power 1 ball here in Expert. I'm playing 6 topspin and 4 bars of right spin, which means that you can play this hole with a side spin 2 ball, like an eyeball or Wavebreaker, Carnival, Bandera, a lot of them we do have. Starting at plus a 3 yard mark with the extra mile level 9. So if you do have that one, you start at plus a 3. If you do have another club, you need to compensate for the less distance and go a little bit further up. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and we're using the white ring to the left by the rough. Getting ourselves nicely down to 373 yard mark. And the reason I'm not pushing this drive is to get myself consistent drive. Then I will be able to play a consistent second shot, and I value that more than trying to push super hard for the drive and then get to different distances all the time. We don't have enough time in the mini tournament to be as dialed in as we normally are, and therefore we need to change the mindset. And therefore I'm using a Win 5 ball here, reduce the wind, make the rough bump easier, and it's a sniper all the time. Here I play 25% of club, 10% over adjustment, and with a perfect ball this would have been in the hole. For hole number 5, I would like you to play with a wind resistance 4 power 3 ball. This could be the pine cone, it could be the superstar ball, it could be a centurion. There is plenty of them. 4 bars of backspin and 3 bars of a left spin here, and we're aiming for the island. And you can hit great left, you can hit great right, and I'm going to show you that you can hit great left especially. 10% over adjustment, maximum distance numbers. I'm looking for a slight pull angle 1159, but if you don't know what pull angle is, don't really bother with it and try to pull just as normal. We do want this ball to come into the green, bounce up the hill and fall back towards the pin. The closer to the pin we're coming with the first bounce, the less will the ball roll to the left. So if with a perfect here would have been very, very close, because again, more right means that the ball will fall more left. The more left with the ball comes into the green, the more right it will fall. So therefore we missed that one to the right due to a great ball to the left. Good chance here. I did not expect that to be a good chance, to be honest, but the island is the one that we are going to play. Maximum distance plus 10, quarterback and Win 4 power 3. And again, just have it said, if you don't have those, you can play with a kingmaker as well. For hole number 6, we're going to go for a power slice here, and here I'm using a reference point. When I play with a power 3 ball, I'm playing with max top spin, and I'm actually using max left spin here. And the reason I'm using left spin is I was trying to just keep myself to be in between, like to have a line in between the two tree sections there on the left. In the end, I will be adjusting my rings, and then I will be using a reference point that will be just outside the tree on the left. And if you do have a struggle following here, you click pause and then you take a look at the position where we are at. You see basically the right side of the blue ring by the tree there to the left. Then max overpower and then power slice. And the ball here is going to bounce on the fairway nicely, and then it's going to go up to the left here over the bunker, and we are going to be behind the trees. This is going to be a bummer because we will not be able to play for the pin. And the thing that I would suggest us to do is actually play with a power 5 ball. Here I'm using 6 bars topspin just to make sure that we are kind of using it for, you know, an Apocalypse level 5, level 4, that we do have the topspin level like that. Now I'm using that pink bush as a reference instead, moving more right, which means I will go more right, but I also have more distance. 6 top and max right spin, trying to get down to the fairway. But the mistake that I'm doing here is that I'm actually using side spin to the right. First, I get very close to the bunker. So the thing that we'll need to do here with the Berserker is that I first and foremost, I will keep 6 bars topspin. Okay, then I will in the end use 2 bars of left spin. Okay, and last but not least, you see the position that we're having here by the pink bush. This is when Apocalypse level 8, which obviously will be a little bit different, but I will be having like this: pink bush, Apocalypse level 5, level 6. When it comes to the tree there to that one, then we have Apocalypse level 7, and then go another 2-3 rings to the left, and that's going to be Apocalypse level 8 position. In that way, we will not be close to the bunker, and we will also be getting the distance that we're looking for. Second shot here from the rough, we just wanted to show you that you have no issues to reach. So even if you mess up your power slice and go long and into the rough, you will not have any issues to reaching for the pin. 20% over adjustment is the second shot, and if we make the drive correct, we're going to play with a short iron towards the pin. So if we do make the drive correct, we will definitely give ourselves a good opportunity for an albatross, which will, tiebreaker wise or just in the final round, be absolutely massive. For hole number 7, we are going to have to go straight forward. And no, we don't have many seconds left of the clock, but it's a very easy and boring drive, I must say. As we do have headwind, we will not be able to play over to the right, which otherwise would be better in terms of going for the rough bump in the long run. 6 bars of topspin. If you have more topspin, you use more topspin. The further down we are getting, the better position we will be for the second shot towards the pin. So again, if you do have an Apocalypse level 6, 7, 8, or you maybe have a high level Thor's hammer, use those type of clubs so you can gain more distance, because now the issue we are getting from getting into that position as shown after the drive, we will have the rough on the right, which takes away the possibility of go directly at the pin. So we need to use a lot of backspin and also a lot of side spin, which it's not easy. So using the rough to the left, being very, very close, playing minimum distance. I'm not using any curl because I wanted to feel how much the wind is going to push me here, but I need definitely a little bit of curl. The most important thing as well for the second shot is to understand that we do play uphill, so the ball is going to be affected less by the wind, and therefore a minus 10% for the second shot and 10% for the drive. Boring hole with the wind that we got, but in the end, if you do have the club, you will definitely have an okay opportunity for an eagle. Hole number 8, the final par 3, and we are pulling out the rocket. The rocket with its massive backspin. Here it's important that you do play with a power 3 ball, otherwise you're gonna be too far back. Rocket level 10 as well, as you otherwise won't be having the backspin enough. What do you do if you don't have the rocket level 10? Then you play with a Thor's hammer level 6. That's the options that you're having. Yellow ring to the right by the fringe in max distance. Now we go max backspin, 1.5 bar, right spin, adjust for medium distance with a 10% over adjustment. So even if we are in max, we adjust medium distance. A little bit of curl to the right, and please, for the love of God, make sure to hit perfect, because if we would be hitting perfect, we would be gaining a bit more distance, and that ball would have been super duper close, or even closer to its home. If you don't have a Centurion, you can play with a pine cone, superstar ball. There is, plenty of different balls that have win 4 power 3, but in a worst case scenario, if you don't have any special ball to play with, you play with a kingmaker, and still, your only thing that you have to do is to deal with 1 or 2 miles per hour stronger wind. For hole number 9, we do need a driver with distance and topspin. I would say topspin is more valuable than distance here, but it kind of speaks together with themselves. So max topspin and also 1 bar of left spin with the big topper here. And if you do have a big topper level 5, I would advise you to go with as minimum 5 rings of overpower. Having a lower level big topper, you go maximum overpower. Having a big topper level 6, level 7, that's also a difference of distance. Then you also need to go with a little bit of overpower, but around 1 to 3 rings instead of 5. The thing that I'm looking for is to alter my adjustment, maximum distance, 10% over adjustment, push up to max, and the overpower is to get the first bounce to be as close to the rough as possible without obviously going directly into the rough or into the sand. Getting it over there to the other side, and we do have the 426 yard mark, and we are leaving ourselves up for a cataclysm or the big dog towards the pin. And here, 2 ways. Okay, 1, you can play very aggressive, trying to get the albatross, which is going to be extremely difficult with a Cataclysm level 4. I would say level 7, level 8 will at least give you a ball guideline to kind of play with, and there you do use the top spin, you use the side spin to the right and get the second bounce into the rough to then roll down towards the pin. If you do just feel, okay, I'm just going to play this one for an eagle, then you play on the right side of the rough, just using left spin and also using a little bit less top spin, rolling that ball towards the green and taking the eagle, because frankly, people will not be having an albatross on this hole in general. They will be playing this one for an eagle. So in the end, if you do get an eagle here, it will still be way better than most of your opponents. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Expert for the Easter 9-hole cup. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and make sure you comment in the comment section below if you do have any questions, or go to golfclashtournament.com and fill in the contact form. This is a tough tournament where I do believe the playthrough will help you tremendously on to get an extra drop or 2, and therefore have a massive advantage over your opponents. And again, get the text guides on Patreon if you want to get even more advantage over your opponents, because there will be a guide even for the mini tournament and also for the rest of the tournaments throughout April, and obviously throughout the year, as long as as we do have tournaments in Golf Clash. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.